I definitely think it's a conversation that goes on and on and on, and
Yeah.
We are making up for a few minutes that we lost. But thank you, Newton, for those kind words. Thank you, Andrew, for those.
For the invitation.
So I have something here from Jackson saying, thank you. You know, sometimes when you can't make it, you get near to the people who have made it. So even Nakuti today has made it, because people here are saying, thank you for bringing those gentlemen and ladies. It's a collective thing. Thank you, Jackson, for appreciating these persons. Just to bring this to a close, and for people not to feel like they are being sent to the well without jerry cans. When Newton calls for experience, I just want experience is showing up. You are there. But what will actually get you paid is the expertise. Because when you wake up when I woke up this morning, I got experience. Just I am experiencing Luboa.
Absolutely.
But what expertise am I picking? And I actually pick someone from the gate and tell them this. You will have conversations. Your children will have conversations. Your children will actually be proud of you. They will have conversations. When my father was this is what he used to do. Those conversations. Are you hearing your name in those conversations? If your own children are not talking about you, hey, now you know. Talent will associate with those people who, in the sentence in the meeting, they're always saying, have you consulted with this person? Before you do this, have you consulted? The community is asking you. Like, they can only take what you're telling them until you tell them that I have consulted. That's what talent, or where talent will lead us. Talent will lead us to people. The people who are, when they come, the meeting starts. You are so valuable that the meeting can't start without you. But when you come, they say, people have come, let us start the meeting. The clan can start even burial arrangements because you have come. You're not the dead person, but they can't bury without you having arrived. That is what talent, how far talent can take you. It will associate itself with people who say, let's wait until what. When you hear that you are getting into that frame where people are saying, we cannot do this, I need to say this as a standard. We cannot do this until he has done this. Your peers are proud of you. Then, ladies and gentlemen, your talent is speaking for you. But who am I to say these things? Allow me to introduce the panel for today. Mine is to do the introduction, and but today we have a nice lady here, Claire Nakuti, all the way from Mbale. She's the change manager at NSSF. Yeah, I don't know what she does. Don't ask me those things. But because we want to think that she is a talented, I don't know talented what. I'm finding a time, but she will place that talent while she has the conversation. But we are privileged to have Claire Nakuti moderate this conversation with Ande Mwesigwa and Newton Poteraba. Those are people I cannot introduce myself. They will do the introduction themselves. But Claire, right now we have about 2,000 people waiting to hear what talent can do. For me, what I've been saying is just from my village. But what is it that talent can do in this realm of financial literacy? Over to you.
Thank you so much.
But before you say no, now, before you go, the rule here is Sir Headmaster. Please say it again.
Apologies, Sir Headmaster, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for that introduction, and a good morning to our dear listeners. This is the NSSF webinar for the month of May, and I'm very happy to be co-hosting with Sir Headmaster, sir, and very brilliant gentlemen in the room with me, Newton Buteraba and Andrew Mwesigwa. Each very talented people, very skilled in their fields of work. So I'll just have a brief intro for Andrew Mwesigwa. He's a renowned footballer in the Ugandan community. I know if there are any sports fraternity teams that have logged in, I'm very sure you're very aware of him. Andrew, welcome back home, and we like the fact that you flew the Ugandan flag so high out there. He has played for very, very, very many international teams across the continent, please note. He's played for Villa FC, IBV. The one that was very fascinating for me is Chongqing Preferred. Like, he went all the way to Asia to play still. Saigon, to mention but a few. And Andrew is he played as defender in all his in his field of sport, in the football field, and he's retired since. However, retirement doesn't mean that he sat down and left it to that. He has transitioned into something else, which is education right now, and that is very brilliant. I know he will speak more to it, but that's just a brief bio about Andrew Mesiga. Andrew, we're happy to host you, and we can't wait to have very brilliant information come out of you today. I know there's lots of people online waiting to hear, and I'm happy to delve in. Then here comes the CEO, House of Will, Newton Buterabao. Welcome, and thank you for honoring our invite here.
Thank you, Claire.
Yeah, so Newton is nicknamed as Professor. All of us who are in that field of financial literacy know him and his thirst of knowledge. He's well studied. He's done very many degrees across different fields. I don't know if that's skill, that's talent. We are going to wait to hear from you. He's done statistics, technology, security, and now embarking into law. Wow, Newton. Really a jack of so many hats, yeah? So we're happy to host you here, and we can't wait to hear from you. He's done a lot of financial literacy webinars, a lot of financial literacy conferences across the country, across the continent, across the region, and we can't wait to hear from him. So let's delve in. I know he'll speak more to that, but today we are speaking work to wealth, skills that pay the bills. And these are the gurus with me in the room, and we can't wait to hear from you. But before we start, Apollo mentioned something very important, and I hope that we would all just take a minute and internalize it. What is wealth? Wealth is basically behavior, habit, and attitude. So I throw it back to Newton to start our conversation of the day. What does skills that pay the bills mean to you personally? Because we're here to learn today.
Thank you very much, Claire. I feel honored and utterly privileged to be in the same room with a country great like Andrew Mesiga for all the effort he put in sport.
Exactly.
And how it resonates with actually what we are discussing today, to let people know that they can do other things other than what they are currently doing. For example, when you say skills that pay the bills, work to wealth, we would like to let people know that, first of all, what is a skill?
Yeah.
We realize that you can be naturally gifted. There are people who are naturally gifted. When they are born, they do not have to go to school for that particular thing. Someone is born and is very good at running. Someone is born and is very good at singing. Someone is born and is very good at harmonizing. So that becomes a talent. However, we also have people who have said that I'm going to put in the time to learn speaking, to learn cooking, to learn how to play football, to learn how to decorate, to learn how to rear dogs. So we would like to tell people that whereas up until now they would have failed maybe to discover their innate talent, something they were born to do, they can now choose a path where now they learn and they say, I want to do this. They go and pick knowledge. They go and pick skill. After attaining that skill, it will be extra. For example, you can be an accountant, but you go to a nutritionist and you learn how to organize meals that can help people cut weight.
Exactly.
You can be a lawyer, but then also you go and learn probably how to be an MC, and you actually speak on functions. These are things that will bring in money to your coffers every once in a while. So we want to encourage people not to depend on that very one thing they are doing currently.
The qualification.
That qualification. We want them to go elsewhere and pick on something which after some time, because usually skill and time,
you need the desire, you need the effort, you need the time. The moment you combine those, you find yourself having multitudes of things. And to just add to that, Claire, I remember when I had just returned to this country from my studies, I was hired as an information systems and operations management system specialist. So I entered Enterprise Uganda as IT. But while at Enterprise Uganda, I used to turn up in suits like I do. And then it meant that every function I was always ready.
Yeah.
So I was their IT, but also their MC.
Yeah.
Then at Enterprise Uganda, they were always into training people how to make money. So I started teaching people the skills I learned as a child, which I honed later. So I was into teaching people how to sell, teaching people how to manage businesses. So
We probably are not
absolutely,
to.
absolutely.
Thank you so much, Jito,
Yes.
for spelling that out. Andrew, over to you. Our dear listeners want to know how you transitioned from active sports into what you're doing right now, which is education.
Yeah, thank you so much, Claire. Good morning to our viewers and listeners. I've already been introduced. Andy Mwesigwa. They normally tell me that I should always add the former captain of Uganda Cranes, because I was now a retired sportsman. Yeah, you've slightly gone through my profile. I started playing football as a young boy, but I would like to inform all the viewers and listeners that besides doing sports, I also went to school. Yeah, Andy Mwesigwa holds a diploma in business administration and management. Yeah, you've posed the question that how have I made it to transit from a sportsman to what I'm doing now as an educationist. Yeah, I'm a director of Amesco High School, a secondary school found in Wakiso district, along Hoima Road. You branch off from Chikwampanga stage, then you get to Bugwanya village. I would like to inform all the viewers that I think it is because of my background, probably, that led me to smoothly transit from a sportsman to an educationist. Why? When I was born in Jinja, my parents treasured so much education. They used to insist that I should go to school, get the education, and actually it was my mother who could tell me that the time you'll finish education is when you'll be free to do what? To play football. But talent is talent. I kept on playing, in all those hardships, being caned, not to get to the field and play, all in the name of doing what? Acquiring education. So I went ahead and completed my education, and I continued with the football. So I think I attribute that to that background, that as I was playing football, I knew that education is more valuable than what? Than sports. So actually when I turned professional, started earning, my desire was to start up a school, get into education, because actually right now it is well known that I don't know how the government thought about it, to actually combine education and sports, to be under one ministry. I think they knew that maybe talent without education is valueless, and the reverse is true. I'm here, Andy Mwesigwa, now an educationist who played football and a lot out of football, and decided to invest in education. Yeah, so it has been
smooth for me because I think of the background that that I went to school, and I treasured so much education, and my parents also treasured so much education.
Thank you for that. So sometimes where we come from also
matters.
Pans out. It contributes to how we pan out. Actually, very brilliant. Newton, over to you. In the corporate world, we mostly earn money. it's rare that you build wealth with your salary.
Yes.
And I've got to learn that from the different engagements we've been having, with all these brilliant, wealthy giants in the country. I won't run out of our country, in the country. And the viewers would like to know what the difference is between merely earning money and building wealth. And I'm posing this to you because of your company, House of Wealth, CEO. Yeah, so what better person to decipher this one?
Thank you very much, Claire. You've used the word that reminds me of security, to decipher. It means it's encrypted.
Yes.
Now we have to decrypt. That question is really brilliant because it's hidden. It's hidden in meaning. It's hidden in the things which bother us. There are conundrums that bother us every day. The question is, how would someone build wealth? Unfortunately, they never teach this to us in school. In school, they base most of the time in giving us the tricks on how to collect the notes and actually how eventually to pass the exam. Schools have gone ahead to even punish those who do not perform well on the exam by telling them to repeat the class or to change school. And society has gone ahead to reward people who have excelled in school by showing them on TV, by doing all these sorts of things. So when we leave school and we come into the world, we are as virgins as they all come. When we are unable to actually know what building wealth is, we actually carry a notion or a thought process that when you get the money, just make sure you ask your boss to increase the money. When you get the more money, you will be wealthier. It's quite unfortunate. We would like to tell people here and now that it does not matter how much you get. The only thing that matters is what you do with what you get. And I'll repeat it. It doesn't matter how much you get. What matters is what you do with how much you get. And I want you to follow this. If we are all employed in the same company and someone earns 30 million, 40 million, 20 million, 10 million, notice that those people who earn 40, 30, 20, 15, by the time they tell them the job is no more, you could find they're distraught, they're under so much pressure. They can even tell you, I do not know what to do next, which will come as a shocker to you who has been earning 2 and 1.5, and you're like, but I thought at 40, at 20, you would have made it. You see it in our day-to-day lives when, for example, no disrespect, but if you look at our parliamentarians, if they tell you how much they earn, you are like, I must be in parliament. But when the people who are in parliament tell you, we are planning to leave because we got the money, but we did not become wealthy. It's because when you get the money and you do not do something with it, this money is like water. It just flows. So I wanted to juxtapose that with a statement that a person who makes 40 million which is 10,000 euros, and they do not do anything with the 40 million. They just turn up dressed well, smelling well, driving well, and happy with their family. But they do not do anything with the 40 million. And the person gets 3 million in that same company. But the person who gets 3 million keeps on putting aside 1 million with the goal to buying land every year. So they put aside 1 million. After a year, they have 12 million. They move 25 kilometers outside the city. They buy a plot. So it follows that after 10 years, the person who was earning 40 million, because they did not do anything with the money, this person who was earning 3 and doing something with the 1 million, saving with the goal, it follows that after 5 years, 10 years, they might actually have 6 to 7 plots. When the announcement comes that we are downsizing, we are chasing you from this work, this person who has been doing something with the money has 6 plots. The other person is like, I have now to write a new CV. So what people should actually start with is, what am I doing with what I'm making? Because let them not forget, expenses have a habit of rising to meet its best friend, income. So expenses look at the income and they're like, now the income is at 2 million. What are we guys doing at 500,000? They moved. Before you know it, they are overexcited and they have even overtaken the income. So if you are not deliberate to do something about the income, you stay as you are.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely.
We've seen that in our backgrounds, and
It's
seen that happen.
It's commonplace.
It's a very common place to find ourselves.
Yes.
And I like that. Use the little you have to build the little that you can build.
Absolutely.
When you still can.
Yes.
That is something to ponder about, dear listeners. So, Andrew, over to you.
Yeah.
I want to talk talent and skill. Some of people out there have it innate, like I'm a natural athlete, footballer, musician, acting, drama. It's innate. I have it in me.
Yeah.
But then we know that the shelf life is usually minimum. It's short, especially for people in active sports and people that sing. You know, the age does not align with your talent, and age doesn't align with your talent, or you've got an injury, so you can't play no more. The injury has, got you to a place that is not desirable. So, how would you advise this segment of people? Now that you're experienced, you've been through it, you know what it means. How would you advise them to use their time and money in a place where that they can find a cushion? Because it's sad to see someone who was up there get on the street and they're nobody, and you can barely be recognized. And I want you to bring it back home. Unfortunately for us, it gets hard. Whereas the other players out there, they become coaches, they make their own academies.
They even become pundits on TV.
Exactly.
Yes.
So there's something to look forward to, which is not the case with us here at home. Yes, the NSSF has actually gone wide and wild to make sure they get into that sports fraternity. That when Andrew at a given point is injured and cannot play defense no more, or when Andrew is at that age where the team does not need him, what happens to him? How do you then survive? I know we have Smart Life that can accommodate the short term, but with your experience, what would you advise this segment of people? And how do you prep these young guys that are coming up, for that time?
Yeah, thank you, Claire. I'd like to immediately get back to my submission, the initial submission, that education, talent without education is valueless. My advice to all the the little ones. I should call them little ones or the youths.
Yeah.
Actually, sports is being done by youths. It is only maybe after active sports that you can get into administration and so on. But with and actually that by that time you're not earning actually much. So I would say as you're playing, you need to have the discipline, the financial discipline, knowing that sports is not done for a long time. Actually that is where we go wrong, thinking that we shall be maybe in active, sports forever. Yeah, so and this one goes back to what I said initially, that we need to have these youths going through education, all the levels. It is very important because education is a lifetime, but with the talent or sports is limited for some time. So if you have the education with you, you can again venture into, actually you can even use the sport itself to actually earn a living after active sports. Yeah, to the little ones, I would say, actually this shall go to the administration. There is a very big tendency of actually now schools having the so-called footballers in schools.
Yeah, but I've seen high schools do it.
Yes. I've not mentioned any school. But they always don't allow them to get to classes and get the knowledge. Yeah. So it is a problem that after actively playing football, somebody is in the dark, not knowing what to do thereafter. I'll give pick a leaf from those countries. I was in Iceland.
Yeah.
I would like to tell you that all the footballers in the national team of Iceland, at the time I was there, they all had their other professions. We had they had doctors, they had teachers, they had veterinary officers, in the team. So it helped them that actually after active football, like now, the coach of Ireland national team was my coach in IBV and was the coach of Iceland national team. This is a gentleman now who is a dentist, and he owns the hospital in Iceland. But he's a coach and he played football. So it is very important to always go through school. Very, very important that when you get injured, when things don't actually, we even have the form. When the form declines, you get stuck and there is nothing to do thereafter. But if you have the education, you have your other profession, you can as well branch off and do whatever you pursued thereafter. So my advice is that we should keep these children in school, the youths in school, as they're doing their sport activities.
That's very important. And when you mention that schools may not, the youth right now, or this age group that is very talented in schools, and schools are very competitive when it gets to sports. I see all these very amazing leagues happening all over the country, inter-school league.
Yes.
And it's now a catch in our society right now, the inter-school, the big schools that have really taken this to another level.
True.
And probably they want their students to focus more on that. I don't know how it impacts the school, maybe it's visibility for the school and whatnot. But like you said, education is very important at the end of the day. We have to balance.
Yeah, because actually, once you turn a pro footballer, like when I went to Iceland in 2006, it happened that the little I got from school helped me a lot. Why? When signing contracts, you need to have the financial literacy.
True.
Okay? Signing a contract, what are you signing really? The wages and so on. You need to know what you're signing. You need to know that out of this money to negotiation. Exactly. And even knowing that, okay, as I'm earning this, I have to get this deducted as tax. You need to know all that. For somebody who didn't go to school, it becomes so hard. Then the talent becomes valueless without education. So my advice is that we should keep these children, these youths, I call them children, but they're youths, in school as they're doing what? as they're playing football, because it will help them in future to actually make it valuable when they earn whatever they earn in that short time, to actually do they need food thereafter using the funds.
Very important to note. And Newton, I always talk to my colleagues, my friends, and the people that I really hang with. That
Yes.
you can't really be the best kept secret wherever you are. I may be talented in a certain field, in a different field, but it's only known to me. Like,
Yes.
it's not the best kept secret at that point in time. And yet it's not worthwhile. Like, if you can MC, you can co-host, you can, crack code. You're working in probably customer experience, but you can crack code in tests. You've not yet gotten the opportunity to go to technology, but where you're seated, you can actually crack code. So what am I saying? How important is networking? We are not taught these things, but these are things we have to know. How important is networking and visibility when monetizing your skill?
I would like to thank you, Claire, for that question, and I would like, even before answering it, to bring it in context. You remember there is a verse in the Bible. I think it's in 1 Kings, chapter 19, verse 18. Elijah was telling God that I am the only one left, and God told him, I still have 7,000. It is actually so important that we get to know that it is impossible that you might be the one and only. By design and creation, they made. But again, the Creator intended that our whole entire lifetime and lifespan to earn for our gifts, we must work with people. Take, for instance, how would this show have been if you weren't a moderator, you wasn't a co-panelist? We did have this whole entire very great team, which is on the sound, camera, videography, cinematography, then NSSF, and all. And the viewers themselves. Imagine we set it up, we put it out there, and then there are no viewers. Yeah. You realize that the moment we advertise and people pick, we grab their attention, and then they come, they form part of our network. Now it is up to us. A network must be studied. When you study a network, you become wealthy. I'm usually on TV telling people that we also need to know who is teaching us about money. Yeah, very many people who are teaching about, who are skilling, who are giving people knowledge about money. They are saying, if you pick your phone and you do not see people who are giving you, and when you call that person, they can't give you 10 million, they can't give you 5 million, they can't get you out of trouble. Delete them. And I'm of the view that that is their opinion. But as Newton Buteraba, I would invite everyone is in that phone for a reason. And you will have to go up to Genesis chapter 41. You start from 14 to 46. Who are we talking about? Joseph. What had Joseph done? He had met trouble with Potiphar's wife. And the wife had made sure the guy gets to prison. So he's imprisoned because they thought he had an affair with his boss's wife. When they put him in prison, he finds the king's cupbearer. He converses with him and he tells him about a dream. So that guy whom he was with in prison gets to know that Joseph can interpret dreams. When he is released from prison, that cupbearer is serving with the king. And the Pharaoh is troubled. He does not know. He has these dangerous dreams. And this guy tells him, you know what? I was in prison with a young chap who can interpret dreams. Pharaoh orders that the prisoner is released to come and interpret dreams. He comes, he interprets dreams that there is going to be famine in Egypt. ESCON, do this, spend like this, budget like this, to protect the people. Now, that verse answers the question, what can we do with networks? Imagine, we were of the view that the people you find in prison have no use. After all, we were together in prison. He was a murderer, this one was a thief, this one was there because of adultery. Let me delete. He would have lost on the network, because the person who is getting him out of prison is the person he had networked with. That's why I'm telling people that for me, I realized that the life God has given me on this planet, I now value networks more than even the degree. Exactly. But you must be able to nurture the network. You can be online. For example, if I'm on a network, like maybe a network carrier like MTN or Airtel, if you have the line, which is the network line, but you do not have airtime, you won't be able to make calls. So you realize that even the people who you're networking with, you must make sure that in a way you nurture them. So you can call friends and improve their lives, not monetary all the time. Calling someone just to say hello, calling someone to tell them what they are going through, you also went through it and you passed through it. You're nurturing the network. That way, you will find that every time something happens, there is a call, and that call involves you. I usually tell people, we are here, but there are people in a certain boardroom or meeting who are making decisions
About you.
The question is, on that committee, who knows you?
Yes.
What do they remember about you? So it is so important that we brand ourselves with a character befitting of a recommendation. Because if you do not have credibility, they do not know you, someone then must know you. But that person who knows you, who is already credible, must recommend to the extent that they know that this person is full of integrity. In information security, we study integrity, and we say, esse quam videri. That is Latin for to be rather than to see. If I'm recommending Claire, if I'm recommending Andy, I must be comfortable that the Claire I know will be the Claire I recommend.
Yes.
The moment the Claire I know has some other ways, the Andy I know has some other ways, they lack that integrity, I won't recommend them. That is in Mark 11:12, where Jesus is hungry, he finds a tree of leaves, and is like, this tree will give me a fig. Such as the tree can't find a fig, is disappointed. So the tree was seemingly figgy, but it lacked the figs. That's where we get that motto of esse quam videri, to be rather than to seem. Let people know you're kind. Let people don't be like, but he seems kind. He seems intelligent. He seems wealthy. No. Let you be rather than seem. So it will help people live within their means. It will help people portray the picture that will help them nurture and benefit from networks.
So be very, very intentional in keeping
Exactly.
and growing your networks.
Absolutely.
And make it worthwhile. Be the person that we know that you are. Don't seem to be.
Exactly. Let them know. Let them know. He snaps.
Yes.
Let them not doubt. Will he?
Yeah.
The people who have hired me to be a speaker, they know.
He will
He will say everything, but you won't be able to see it.
Yeah.
you. But there are people they are hiring to be an MC. They're like, he will throw a word, and they take their reservations.
Yeah.
All the time, the person who hired you is monitoring you, and also looking at the DJ to tell them, take the mic off, take the mic off, take the mic off. So I really think that it's so important that people grow into that character, because your network, before it becomes your net worth, they are speaking about you, they are recommending you, they are saying things about you.
They'll bang tables behind closed doors.
Exactly. So in that meeting where they are going to speak about you, are there any 2 or 3 things they remember about you being very good at, being that they can trust you when you handle?
Yeah.
That's my view.
And that delves in right into what I want to ask Andrew. Andrew has played football as defense in so many teams across the continent.
Yes.
Across the globe.
Yeah.
Not just in Africa, but Asia and
In
Europe. And that's very brilliant. 1, your skill. 2,
the network.
your network.
Yes.
And of course, we are very aware that talented people, sports people, are paid very well,
True.
depending on the team you're playing for and the level of skill you bring to the table. But then there's also one problem: managing or making financial mistakes while you're there. We've seen it in the news where they go bankrupt. I mean, they're filing tax cases on them. I don't know. They may not have good managers, but well, like you said, an education is very paramount to have. Even when you're a sports person, you're in arts, you're in that different from music, name it. So, Andrew, have you made financial mistakes before, and how did you bounce out of them? These are things that happen in the different fields that we work in, especially in your fields like of talent. Have you made those mistakes before? Did you get swayed by the money?
Yeah, of course, but probably maybe, talent these days is very commercial.
Exactly.
Yeah, and once you become a professional footballer, that means you're going to be earning. But initially when I was in Uganda, because I played for several clubs here in Uganda, and to be honest with you, there wasn't that big money as people thought. It was just fame, just being known. And Mwesigwa, captain of Uganda Cranes, then playing Sekafa and so on, captain of Sports Club Villa, captain of Mbale Heroes, but in the actual sense, we're not earning that much. And by the way, it is where actually the public gets it wrong with the previous soccer players. To be honest with you, they never got in money. Yeah, but they had the fame. So people thought with the fame they're having what? They're having money. But to be honest with you, they never earned money. I give an example of myself while in Uganda here. When I left in 2006, the only thing I had with me was just the sofas in my house, the bed, okay, and the fridge. Imagine, but I'd played for over 6 years in the Super Division League. It is until when I went pro, outside of Uganda, went to Iceland, then I started earning some good money. Went to China, earned really big. Went to Kazakhstan, big. Then Cyprus and Vietnam. When I was retiring, it was not that much. But I would say, while in Uganda, I never made any financial mistakes, because I didn't have anything to invest in anyway, So that way, I would say. But I will talk about now when I turn professional.
Yes.
To be honest with you, I'm one person who does not party. I'm not a luxurious person. And to be honest with you, I think I've never made a mistake in my finances. Only that, they are inevitables. Like when I just come back to Uganda, opened up a school, and I went into a lockdown. So business was somehow affected. As you know, education took like 2 years without operating. And I don't think it was my mistake, but we were so much affected, and right now we are just getting back into business, and everybody should, people in education now can witness. It is now that the education sector is getting back to normal, but previously things were terrible. Many schools closed, actually not even schools, but even many other businesses closed because of the pandemic. So I would say maybe it wasn't my mistake, but it was a general thing that, things went bad with the pandemic. That is what I can say. But I invested very well, because of the knowledge that I gotten from school. And my background as well, that my parents treasured and loved so much education. And I got in the interest as well as a young child that maybe I can as well become an educationist. And actually it was my prayer. By the way, I don't know, we have Skype. Do people use these days Skype?
It's obsolete now.
Not so much.
No, like I think they stopped Skype. But
yes. But I would like to tell you that I had a vision right when I was still young. When I was processing to go turn professional, we were using Skype actually, communicating and so on. My Skype profile picture was the plan for my school now, where I'm a director. That is, I think, 20 years ago.
That's long-term planning.
Yeah, so I had a plan with me for sure. Yes, so I had a plan with me, and I was like, if God allows and I get money, I will build a school. And it is exactly what I did after turning professional. When I got in the money, I bought the land and said I have to build a school, and it is what I did. So to me, actually, out of whatever I've done, whatever I've earned, I don't think I've made a mistake, but it is at some point in nature, that led us to somehow get a slide. Yes. So my advice as well to the little ones, to actually, after earning whatever they earn as sportsmen, because it is an activity that you do for a small time, is to invest wise.
Very brilliant. And I like the fact that you were deliberate on not making financial mistakes.
True.
You're one of a kind, I must say. In our fields where we are, we're making a couple of financial mistakes.
Absolutely.
You make them, you learn, you get back on track. Fair and square. But then, would you point someone to the exact investments they would take? Because I know that there are very many. Lately, we are all deliberate on our finances and trying to make good. Trying to do it right the very first time. Chances of doing that the very first time, highly unlikely, but of course it happens for some people like you who have not made any financial mistakes, except for COVID that came and knocked everyone down to the ground. Okay, but at least most people, well, were learning to coexist with the pandemic. What exact investments would you point someone in your field?
Okay, so now as you're actively doing sports, you so much concentrate on doing what? On that talent, training. You don't have time to maybe move out and so on, venture into other what? But I would say real estate. Real estate is the way to go for any active sportsman. Because as you're doing the sport, you're busy, you don't have time.
Yeah.
So if you invest in real estate, buy land, buy those properties, to me I think you can keep your wealth there. And maybe after retirement, you can come out and maybe say you sell one, develop one, and you let life go on. So real estate is a very big deal for any sportsman, and I would recommend that.
Okay, I believe they're all hearing and trying to.
Because as time goes by, it adds value, like that. And investing probably, if you are to invest in maybe a retail shop, you're not there to monitor. You know how much how much they've stocked, how much they've sold, the profits and so on, tax and so on, So the monitoring becomes so hard. The fact that you're busy with the sports. But if you invest maybe in real estate, you buy land, put it there, buy a building, put it there, the value is automatic. Somebody can come and, make valuation after a few years, the value has risen, be it land, be it property.
Yeah.
Fantastic. So that is what I can advise, that sportsmen and any other busy person should invest in real estate.
Newton, is that what you call patient capital?
Absolutely, and
What you call patient capital, right?
yes, and I like what Andy has said.
Yeah.
Because real estate, by its design, it was designed to help us keep money. When you are a football player, when you're a talented, when you're a skilled individual, be it a boxer, be it a footballer, there is a time when you hit the peak and everyone wants you. Everyone wants to sign you. They throw a lot of money to you. Now notice that the people who are abroad, if you studied them, they are losing money in 3 ways. They either take you to court, which is a lawsuit, or there is divorce, which is a separation that will take the money, or there is taxes. Now, notice that all these things end up in court. I think that's why I went back to do law. And I usually tell people, when I find someone who says they have money, I ask them, who is your lawyer? The moment I realize they do not have a lawyer, I realize they are in the game, but they lack someone to interpret them the game rules. And I want to just add on to what Andy has said. If you followed sport, or all the talented individuals, let's look at a guy like Tyson. In his career, he was a boxer and he amassed $400 million per fight. Not per fight, but what he could earn 20, he could earn 30. But when you combine, at one moment he was worth $400 million. But then it reached a time when he was bankrupt. You move to football and you go and you find Ronaldinho. At one moment he had $100 million. But there was a time he had problems and they went, looked for him, no asset, looked on his bank account and they found €6. Maradona, greatest player, great skill, but by, I think, 2003, he was owing the taxman in Italy approximately €37 million. Now you realize that if you have a skill, if you're earning money, the next thing is to ask yourself, this money is going to go. Because money is like water. It's in the business of flowing. If you do not get, you've been at a place where they tell you it overrained last night. You wake up, you have no gutters, you have no tank, you have no water. But there are people who have gutters, they have a tank, they have buckets, they harvest it, they call it water harvesting, they have water. So the idea would be, now what are we going to do? We know that in a country like Uganda, when it rains, it might not warn us. You are enjoying your sleep, finishing your sleep. In the sleep, you might even be a veteran, dreaming as a veteran. They have called veterans to earn some money. You're there. Then it rains heavy. If you did not set up, remember when you're setting up to harvest water, you only set up during the sun.
Yeah.
So the question now would be, what are you doing before it rains? That protection. Exactly. What are you doing before the money comes? Can you even plan about land? Don't wait for money to come, then you buy the land. Can you think about private Milo, we have leasehold. People they end up buying Vivanja when they should have bought private Milo. That's when they end up buying leasehold when the lease is even about to expire. But they did not take the trouble to acquaint self with the knowledge about these things they want to go with. If you read Proverbs 6:6 and you read it together with Proverbs 30:25, Solomon was intent when he said that I have seen the wise, but the wisest among the wise, he looked at ants.
Yeah.
And the reasoning was simple. Ants prepare food for the winter. When do they prepare food for the winter? During the summer. So we are asking people, what are you doing now before the chaos comes? What are you doing with the money before the chaos comes? What are you even doing before even the money comes? Everything I do, the people who follow me on my status know that I manifest. I meditate. I think about this. I can talk about something and I follow through it. I told people I will do law. It's on record. I told them in 2018. The war that was there for me to do law, chaotic. But by the war started in 2018, and by 2020, even COVID was involved. But by 2020, I was starting law. To the extent that the war we fought, the program had even been scrapped. We had to involve lawyers to threaten the whole entire university, such that they give us our program. What do I want to tell people? That if you read John 12:24, Jesus is saying in John chapter 12 verse 24 that unless a kernel of wheat falls to the ground, it stays alone. Yeah. But the moment it goes to the ground, then it will produce.
To multiply.
So it means the actual you want to take, the actual plant dying before we make it. So we shall make the mistakes. But they have told us that unless the seed dies, actually if you read about germination, the thing must rot. You put a bean seed under the ground, the food it only has is in the cotyledons. So when that food gets over because of the rotting, then the seed must now make energy, not from the cotyledon but from the sunlight. So it must send a pull mule through the soil such that it makes now energy via photosynthesis. But what will it do with the water? It will have to send a radical down to look for the water. That whole entire process is a fight.
Yes.
But the success that comes out is the same success we should go through as individuals. Now, if you notice, you asked Andy about the things people should look out for, the things to do. And for me, with my little experience of travel, I've realized that this country is the best place to build millionaires. Do you know why? Because nothing works. When you are in a country where nothing works, the opportunities are immense. Can you believe we do not have a single restaurant that can feed 300 people in a go? A single restaurant in this country where 300 people turn up when they did not call before. They just turn up. We don't have that restaurant that can handle. Where they turn up and they say, I want beans, I want rumode, I want mato. It will be chaotic. It's so hard. So it means all these businesses are still opportunities. But for me, what I usually tell people, it's very easy to be wealthy in Uganda because all you have to do is to profile a typical Ugandan. When you look at what we call a typical Ugandan, you ask yourself, number one, how do they move? A typical Ugandan, whether they have a car or not, they will use a boda boda. Whether they have a car or not, they will use a boda boda. So, because by our innate way of life, we are mobile. We have to move from place A to place B. For example, we came to Rugoa, but we won't sleep in Rugoa. We will have to go out. Now, the idea is that whole entire network of how Ugandans move is full of business opportunities. Either you buy and sell bikes, or you buy and sell fuel for bikes, or you buy and sell spare for bikes, or you can do something. But just know, every Ugandan is moving, and whether they have a car or not, they will use a bike. You look at a typical Ugandan and you ask yourself, how does a typical Ugandan spend their social life? You realize a typical Ugandan is a party master. A typical Ugandan will either celebrate a birthday, a baby shower, a graduation, a wedding, an anniversary, a burial. So you ask yourself, if the typical Ugandan is a party master, how do I position myself? And I've realized that when you look at parties alone, the whole entire value chain for parties has numerous businesses. The people who are making cakes will earn money in this country because Ugandans will always celebrate. For us at LDC, we buy cake for every birthday. So our farm has 32 people. Everyone must eat cake. Now LDC has like 20 farms in Kampala alone, and they have the same habit. So if you're into cake, if you're into photography, if you're into videography, if you're into hairdressing, if you're into beverages, if you're into gift shops, if you're into event planning, if you're into decoration, even when you realize that you have land you're not using, but around you there are bars, there are what, go talk to the barman and say, this place can be your parking lot. There is a lot of money you'll earn. You just say, every car that parks here, 5,000. The bar only has the bar setting, but they lack parking. So they will come and park.
No, man.
If 20 cars park and each car has paid 5,000, that's 100,000 a night. The land doesn't increase, it doesn't increase, it doesn't rot. It gives you 100,000 in one night, and you will find that now the whole entire time you've been earning that money for parking and even benefits.
We didn't come to get familiar with Jesus. We came to love on him tonight.
Serve the kids, you can feed the kids, you can stay with the kids. If you actually said, this is my house and my garage is the daycare, what do you actually need? The parents will come with the pampers, with the milk, with everything. All you need is to stay with them. So I realized that there are numerous opportunities in this country alone. Numerous opportunities which you can harness.
So the ecosystem is actually larger.
Absolutely.
And it fits into each other. Okay, so that brings me to this. We have someone who has asked Moza online.
Yes.
And they say, there was a very famous tweet going around about what they don't tell us between the age of 30 and 40. When the black child tax checks in. So that you say, how do you curb black tax to save something for investment, especially where families see it in corporate world, see us who are in corporate world as rich, and this is something that so many people in the corporate world are struggling with. Got a job in MTN, Airtel, you're working for this ministry or that, and the family thinks, oh, lo and behold, the bank account is the family bank account is here, and yet it's pressing on you. And I don't know if you read that tweet, but it really sunk for everyone who is within that age bracket and is from a typical African family. And this question is to both you, Newton, and Andrew, but Andrew can first give us his opinion.
Okay.
And then Newton do what is.
Yeah, so you've talked about the corporate world where I'm not.
Yeah, but the black child tax, I don't know if you have an idea.
To me, I think the perception is wrong because you actually don't know what that person is earning. So to be there anticipating that this person is earning, that much, and you expect a lot from him or her, I think it is wrong. Yeah, because we really don't, actually how much that person will be earning, his or her expenses actually. So it is a poor perception that we should just change. If somebody makes it to maybe such levels and maybe earning, to me I think we should just support and pray for that person to continue earning, and maybe if he saves something, we can as well do what? Throw back to the family.
Yeah, and just to say, these are things that you're not prepared for, to be honest. But you just find yourself taking on the mantle in in 4 out of 5 families in Africa, like you just find yourself taking on a mantle, and and
But again, there is taking on the load
whatever you can. Probably declare that, guys, I'm not earning as much as you envision I'm earning. Usually, what do you have to say about this black child? This black tax?
You see, it's coming from a premise. As Christians, we've actually been called to look after family. I think it's in 1 Timothy 5:8, where they say those who do not actually look after their families are worse than non-believers. However, the same Bible has called us to be diligent, to be able to balance.
Yeah.
Now, usually the question is, if you have relatives and they keep suggesting that you're the one to handle financial related distress, it's a couple of things. Probably, perhaps you've shown them that you have the money. Otherwise, they're not making any call to people who are not sure that they have the money. So this thing people do, you see in Uganda, if you're into the business of cars are bought a lot in November, December.
Festive.
Exactly. Then cars are sold a lot in Jan and Feb. Do you know why? Because no one wants to go to the village in a bus. They would rather get that car, drive that car, such that they show the people in the village that actually, if it's unbeknownst to you, we made it. So they see the car, it is big. They see your wife, very nice hair. They see your kids, chubby, all good looking. You've put up a show. If you have put up a show that you have the money, then it goes to Galatians 6:7. God can't be fooled. What should? So you really, you've put up a show that you have money. They will call you. Let's go to neuroscience. How does the brain work? The brain has been designed to solve problems. how does the brain solve problems? When I have a problem of fees, I'll call Claire. Claire, Payatara, help me with how much? 500. Claire says, I don't have. Andy, help me with 600. Andy says, I do not have. I call Peter. Peter, help me with 500. Peter helps me. Now the brain registers. It puts a cross on Claire, because he did help. And I put a cross on Andy, he did help. I put a tick on Peter. Next time I have a problem, the brain will put Peter first in the calls, because he is the one with the tick in the past. So when I call Peter and he gives me that money again, I add another tick. I call Claire. Claire does not help me, I put a cross. I call Andy. Andy doesn't help me, I put a cross. Now, in the future, the brain removes you and him from the register for having not helped. So I'll call up Peter and any other two people to help me. So I usually tell people, if you want to stay with the money, kill the habit. You must be seen giving and also not giving. Giving and also such that you confuse the brain. Exactly. Unpredictability is what works when you have the money. Remember, when you do not have the money, unless it will be your relatives who will still say, Yagwam.
Yeah, of course.
It won't be, they never add a reason. They are not interested in actually giving the reason why Wagwam. They just say Claire, Yagwam. So, you need to be aware that the responsibility of staying with the money lies on you. And there is a quote, I think I even put it on X. I said, it is you as the giver control. For the takers have no limit. Everyone's problems are huge. All our friends, they will have fees problems, rent problems, food problems, clothing problems. There are people who even have a problem of going on holiday. They want to go on holiday. But who will fund it? They will call you to fund it. So the idea is, number one, we have always asked people, learn to say no. But the no is usually not outright. You could say no the wealthy way. How? Someone can ask you for 500,000. If you give them 100,000, you've actually said yes and no. The yes is to the 100, the 400 is a no. So they asked you for how much? 500. You have given 100. So you've said yes. But you've also said no.
Rejected the 400.
That's how the wealthy work. You can never land on any wealthy individual who has the money ready there. The wealthy individuals have projects. They want to raise their construction projects. They want to go. So they always have a budget on how to spend. So we tell people, giving our family members, it's actually the greatest thing. But you need to ask yourself, do you have what you're giving? Or you're going to borrow such that you give? You are better off actually not going to loans to give. You are better off first putting yourself in a position to give. Why?
We didn't come to get familiar with Jesus. We came to love on him tonight.
Done to the car. For some reason, you will now hold that person in a different regard. So to protect the friendship Uganda we have a saying, echito mukwano, muwola na kuwazika. We lend. And when we, as in, be prepared to kill the friendship when you lend and maybe lease. So, to protect the friendship, you are better off talking to this person and saying, you wanted 200,000, but actually, I'm also struggling. But I have this 50. At least start from there.
A good start.
It's a good start.
Yeah.
So that way, you will be able. When people call you for that black tax thing, they will say the problem is fees. You ask how much is fees. They will tell you fees is 1 million. Other than, because when you take them into a lecture, but can you afford that school? They will say, now you look at this person, they're asking me whether I can afford the school or this. You can say, let me buy some of the needs. Maybe you buy the books, or you buy them, or you pay something. You pay something. But when you come out outrightly, and you pay the other people's fees, before you even look after yourself or you look after your home, you're going to land into First Timothy 5:8, where you in your homestead household, you won't even have food. So we need to live a balanced life. We help, but the help is directed or guided from our means.
Yeah.
So, in other words, this tendency of people calling some wealthy people mean.
Yeah.
Is it okay? As in,
That will happen.
Actually,
That will
usually the question is, no wealthy individual ever died. I've never attended any burial where the cause of death was someone being mean. So the wealthy don't fear to be called mean. But actually they are not even being mean. They are trying to live within their means. Because they work hard, plan for the money. So today they will help. Tomorrow they might not help. There is no law in all my local areas. I see no law that you must help by force.
So ideally,
It's a deliberate
as a
act.
giver,
Yes.
you must take the controls. Because
Exactly.
takers have no limit. I
Yes.
hope that Amoza has noted this. Takers have no limit.
They have no limit.
But
Just
the
take your kid.
have
Just
to have-
if you want to know that the takers have no limit,
Yeah.
enter with your kid in a supermarket.
Such a test.
See how they pick. They will pick ice cream, pick sweet, pick biscuit, pick. They have no limit.
actually,
Or they tell them you can't take you can't take this, you can't. Who should have a limit? The takers have no limit.
Yeah, so that's quite interesting. And coming back to the corporate world, where we have to negotiate for our pay. I don't know if, and I'm sure also people in the sports fraternity negotiate for pay. Like
Exactly.
in that field of sports, art, drama,
And making contracts.
yes, you have to negotiate for pay. But negotiating for pay is one of the most difficult things to do. One, you have to be confident. You have to know your worth. You know, like what exactly we're talking about. You have to know your worth, and you have to know that at least this is what I should be able to take out of this place for the value that I'm going to offer, for the team that I'm going to play for what they are going to earn from me, you know. And
Actually, with us footballers, it depends on your CV as well.
yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
so when your CV is big, then your value also is very big.
Yeah. So how would you hone confidence as a skill, especially when negotiating for your work? In sports, and Newton, you're also going to talk about in the corporate world. Yeah. And okay, men may have it easy, and I'm sorry for being gender biased at this point in time. Men may have it easy, they always have it easy at that point in time, but women struggle to negotiate, they struggle to, they take what they're given,
Yes.
especially in the corporate world. A man would throw back the contract and say, no,
I'm not taking this.
not taking it.
Yes.
You get it? So how do you hone that skill? someone asks,
Yeah,
how do you want that skill?
Yeah, for us, but then before turning pro, that means you're not earning.
Pro to mean professional.
Yes,
And
yes.
that's-
You're not, and then you don't have value. That is where I've said you're making your CV. Like you start playing maybe in a local club, where there is no much pay, but you work so hard, make a CV. If you're a defender, defend very well, put the plus. Maybe if you're a defender, you score in goals, stuff. If you're a striker and you score in goals and helping clubs probably maybe win some trophies and so on, then you're building a CV. That means your value also. That's right. So when you get to pro level, then you have that weight in negotiating. And also it also depends on the managers that you have. If your manager is a strong manager, then you'll get a very good contract. And this comes out after him probably assessing that you're a very good player. You have all the potential. If he is to negotiate for you, like for me, actually, to be honest with you, I think I've been one of the most expensive defenders Uganda has produced.
Wow.
I've signed very many contracts, which have been good. But the fact was that I was a defender playing for a national team and having a plus of scoring, because it is very rare for defenders to score goals. But I've always been scoring goals, so that has always added value.
Give you an upper edge.
Exactly, and I've been getting very good contracts just because of that added value. That I'm a defender and I do score goals.
So ideally, let your work speak for you.
Exactly.
Let your CV speak for you. Newton.
Thank you very much, Andy. And that's why I was telling you that for me, I felt already privileged, and from here I'll make sure. To add to what he has mentioned, I had a full show on national TV, and I was telling the show was called Abacha Alanescente, Women and Money, and I was telling people that women need to pick a lot of interest in the show, because from time immemorial, women have been paid less. Number two, women, for example, in the workplace, they are the only ones who will be deterred with pregnancy. When the pregnancy comes, people will walk over you. If you're not hurt, you know how the corporate world is. But usually what I tell people that the actual remedy, the confidence you will need, if you read Proverbs 18, verse 16, when you read Proverbs 18, verse 16, and you read it together with Proverbs 22, verse 29, Proverbs 18, verse 16 says, the gifts will open the doors. Proverbs 22:29 says, do you see a person skilled at their work? They will serve kings. How does it work? That if you are a lady and they tell you you are in a work environment, you're working with men, male-dominated, patriarchal environment, it means if a man is putting in 1 hour, as a lady you put in 3, such that you hone the skill to the extent that you can't be negotiating money. They will just sit somewhere and they say, that is what you should take. You have to be too good There is no excuse. And I picked this from, I think I picked it from a black actor. A black actor was saying that Hollywood favors whites. So if you know that Hollywood favors whites and you're a black actor, a Swiss knife has a nail cutter, has an opener, has a scroller, has a filer. You must come. That's why that's why you see when you find black actors, they can sing, they can dance, they can act, they can speak, they come when they are really too good. So when you are a lady in the workplace, if you can't be too good, ask someone who is too good to help you on the journey of being too good. But then also, people negotiate poorly. You can't be in a negotiation and you're telling people the money is low. The moment you're talking about the money is low, you're losing. You must change the conversation from the money is low to, but I'm bringing this amount on table. That's why I tell people, when you enter an organization, you have no business sitting on your desk. Go to accounts. What are they spending? What is that particular organization spending money on the most? What can you conjure up as an idea that will save the money? Remember, all businesses, whether in Juba, whether in Israel, Vietnam, or Saudi Arabia, they will all have a profit and loss. That profit and loss statement, at the end, the very bottom line, we see whether net profit or net loss. That net profit or net loss is dependent on the operational costs. No one will increase the salary where utilities are taking them by the neck, where all these other expenses. So when you come to negotiate salary, you can't be talking about, but now you are being paid low. You have to say, wait, this organization was bringing in sales of 10 million. I'm on this job, million. The way I'm being remunerated, it's not commensurate to what I brought on table. You're not talking about money, you're talking about your value. I've also been discussing with these departments and these departments. I realized this organization would actually save money there, which we would earn as an increment. You know, they say, so we can give out. That is the way. But also, be self-aware. If you are not good at speaking, find someone who is good at speaking. On the skill. You see, we are talking about skills that pay the bills. And one of the skills that pays the bills most is speaking.
Negotiation.
You will negotiate. Can you imagine that even in marriage, people who realize that speaking was hard, they go with the bogus. Do you know why they go with the bogus? Do you know why they go with the bogus? It's because the other family will just be saying, but now you look, you made our daughter give birth to 2 kids before you came for the introduction. Those are 100 cows. If you do not have a mortgage, then they will actually say, they were still young. That's why they had to go into these things of pregnancy and all that. But actually, you see the economy. Let's do 10 cows from 100 to 10. Negotiation. So you learn these things. Learn how to negotiate. There are books on negotiation.
Influence.
YouTube is full of people teaching negotiation. And lastly, I will add, I picked this from someone. It must have been some auntie of mine called Auntie Grace. She said, your job description won't give you a promotion. A promotion will come from the things you will do outside your job description. Because a salary increment, they look at your job description and they say, but we wanted a receptionist at 400. why would this receptionist want 500? Let's just look for another receptionist at 400. But when this receptionist says, I will appear early here and clean the office and save the company expenditure for cleaners, I will be now the one to take the records. I will learn how to keep records and learn Tally and QuickBooks. So I will be the receptionist, but also accounts and administration. They will make you a receptionist and say, for you deserve to be a manager. Now, manager, when they take you to manager, you find it has more money, other monies. So if you want to rise, you must be looking at the other departments outside your job description. That's why I was telling you that I was hired as IT. But because I was training people how to make money, I became an international trainer and they put me on a Harvard Business School course. That's how they play the game of being on job and earning more from what you know.
And knowing your work.
Yes.
Lastly, it would be unfair for me not to really table this a young lawyer is asking. And, lately, the young people.
A young lawyer?
Yeah,
Okay.
a young lawyer.
Okay.
Yeah. I am a young lawyer. And I just want to speak to this. Lately,
Okay.
people are going through what we call the microwave theory.
Okay.
Put me in there in 5 minutes, I'm hot enough, I'm ready for a meal. I get into work in a year, I want to be manager.
Okay.
It's not a bad thing.
Okay.
Yeah, but they're not patient with the process.
Okay.
You're learning, I don't know, clerkship or
Yes.
the stages, the
Yes.
different stages.
Yes.
And I'm probably being given 50K per week. A week.
Yes.
One of them, at least that one is an actual experience.
Yes.
So I said, I'm being given 50K per week and I just graduated
Yes.
LC. Okay, I guess I would start 50K a week. You're not paying any serious bills yet. On your skill, and before you know it, you'll probably be in a very big farm, woman, and whatever, or in a corporate world doing all these sorts of.
Absolutely.
So he's saying, I am a young lawyer, but the profession hasn't given me much.
Okay.
Microwave theory. I am not too strong in business, still grappling with secondary sources of income. Please advise areas I can start looking into with my little savings.
Okay. I'll actually start with this.
And that will be our closing question to you.
And that's what I realized. That do you know that I actually charge as a financial advisor? People don't call me and say, I want to buy this land and this land, but which one should I choose? I realized that when people realize that you are a lawyer and you know the law, they just call you and you give out advice free of charge. As a young lawyer, you need to start putting a price to the advisory. And you say, what are you struggling with? Letters of administration. Okay. I'm going to give you an opinion, a legal opinion. But if you do not mind, please deposit 30K on my phone.
Yeah.
Because a lawyer's words are his stock in trade.
Yes.
You go on collecting that 30K, you will realize that actually you've now put the people around you into a habit of first paying for the advisory. People used to just come in my WhatsApp, I want to buy land, I want to do this, I want to do this. And I changed it by saying, you call my personal assistant. So we started charging 30K. We went 50, went to 100, went to 150, went to 100. To this very day that we charge 600,000 an hour for a consultation for business advisory. I realized for law has a lot of opportunities. They can do anything they want with the little money, but this is what I have to say. Saving the money
With the little savings.
with the little savings you have. The moment he has not mentioned the how much, you could find these little savings at 10 million. You could find these little savings at 500,000. So he knows as a lawyer that as lawyers we do more research on asking, making further inquiries. So this conversation here might not actually customize what he can do because I lack the information on the little savings. I might tell him, put it in a unit trust. But then you realize that if you put 100 million in a unit trust, it only makes you 1%, which is 1 million. So he should get, he could get financial advice, actually paid financial advice provided. What I realize is the period to transition from university to your actual making it is hard. The reason it's hard is because the world wants experience. Look at the world as a moving vehicle. It wants a driver that can drive the moving vehicle. The world will not stop because you can't drive a vehicle.
Yeah.
But they want that when they get you on board, you know how to drive. Where will you get to know how to drive? By going to a law firm. So, because a law firm knows it is teaching you how to drive the moving vehicle, it is reluctant because it knows it's giving you something more valuable than a salary.
Yeah.
So, I would just encourage all the lawyers like we all are, if you're in clerkship, get in there. You live on the bare minimum, but you make the network. Let them know you're very good at reasoning. Let them know you're very good at articulation of the law.
Yeah.
One client like this will be impressed and will say, but I met you somewhere. Yeah, I met you during clerkship. I'm struggling with this. And that one thing will give you a breakthrough.
So graduation doesn't mean that you're a master of the trade.
Absolutely not. You actually haven't. You do not have to the society wants experience. It's the currency.
So dearest young lawyer, be patient with your experience, learn the process.